You ever have one of those days? Sure you have. This is like the 8th or 9th time I've done this video. I've had phone calls interrupted. I actually had one that was completed and uploaded it. Well, I didn't upload the right one. I deleted the wrong one and uploaded the wrong one. So, okay. Anyway, where were we? Probably going to be calling this gun cults, or the cult of guns, something like that. Whole concept for this video is based on a conversation I had with a guy named Odinata over on HBR Media's response to Shall Not Be Infringed, The Freedoms We've Lost, or something like that. I'll put a link to it down here. Okay. Conversation was along the lines of, when I take someone out that doesn't know anything about guns, that's most likely never been around guns at all, I pick and choose what I take with me or take with us when we go shooting. I will probably bring like 22 bolt action rifle, a 38 special revolver, actually it's 357, but we'll bring 38 special ammunition, and maybe my 223 bolt action rifle. I'm not going to bring out my tactical AK-47 or my Lapua bolt action, with the massive scope and the huge rounds. Why? Basically because, just like with any hobby, there's such thing as intimidation. And I don't mean just because the paramilitary aspect of it, but I mean just whenever you get involved in a new hobby or you're getting introduced to a new hobby, there's an awful lot to take in, and it can definitely intimidate you. Go take a look at folks that are into drag racing, or take a look at folks into ham radio or video games or anything. I mean, there's a lot of hobbies. It's real easy to get in way over your head, or have somebody that introduces you to it get you way in over your head, and you just get this kind of overload on it. And then on top of all that aspect of it, then you throw in the paramilitary aspect of it. A lot of the stereotypical thing about that people have for gun owners, and the way the media portrays gun owners, and just so you just add on top of it. So, first time I take somebody out, unless I know them pretty well, I'm pretty damn mellow about what I show them. When the question was asked, well, when do you introduce them to the more tactical type guns and stuff? My response was after the blowout. No. But realistically, no. It's just once they're into the guns a little bit and can see that the guns are part of the community. The guns are it's a cool thing. It's a hobby. It's a celebration. Maybe you go into the historical aspect of it or not, but once they just kind of get it, that, hey, yeah, guns are kind of cool, not something to be afraid of, and people aren't something to be afraid of, then there you go. Now there's other folks that, sorry, I'm never going to bring that stuff out when I'm around them. Either I don't trust them, in terms of, you've all been around idiots that no matter how often you tell them that the muzzle gets, it's always down range, treat the gun that's always loaded, pay attention to it, don't sit here talking around when you got, there's people like that. But then there's also the people that, I've got a friend that's a Hollywood dentist, and his wife, they like tennis and wine, and, oh hey, this is Southern California. They just don't get it. They don't mind guns, but they definitely don't get it. So those folks, they know I've got guns, and they maybe have heard me talk in the past about an AK-47, but it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. And I'm just fine with that, because, quite frankly, there's no benefit to be gained by it. And then go on to the last part of the conversation I had with what's his name, the Odinata, and because this goes back to the stewardship video that I, at least the way I took it, was that as a gun owner, I take it upon myself as a responsibility to be a positive role model, or a positive representative of the gun community. I don't want to be looked at as Timothy McVeigh or Tim Nichols, his buddy in all of the militias and all that stuff. I like to think of myself as kind of a normal guy, although I realize I'm not, being part of this community, I'm not, in the middle of the bell curve. But a lot of people that own guns are not tactical. They are not preppers. They are not Uber CCW carriers. They are not any of that. They are just normal people. And that is the point I'm trying to get across to people when I'm introducing them to firearms, is that it's not a big deal. I mean, owning a gun, it does not make you part of some double super secret fraternity. There's no blood oaths. There's none of that crap. There's no cult about it. Just people own guns. I mean, after all, it's our Second Amendment right. It's a part of our history. It's a part of who we are. It's part of America. It's how we got to be where we are. And you try to get that across. And if I'm a normal seeming kind of guy, if I'm just, and if I'm able to introduce them to the fact that most people are very normal. It's the woman that works in reception. It's the woman over in accounting. It's the guy in quality assurance. It's the guy in manufacturing. Normal people. And I think I can do as much for the gun community by being a positive influence, or not influence, but just a positive representative than I can, by calling my senator, calling my state representative, my assembly members, which I do. But being in California, it doesn't seem to mean a whole hell of a lot. So I think by being a positive outward face for the gun community, I think I can do a lot, or at least do something. And the old thing, I tell two friends and they tell two friends and so on and all that bullshit. I think that that's an effective way to help put the gun community in a positive light. Another way of looking at it without the politics aspect of it, and I mentioned guns and gaming and stuff like that. If you guys think about people that play video games, either you think of a 12 or 13-year-old playing Call of Duty, or you think of some nerdy dude sitting in his basement playing World of Warcraft. I play video games, and I don't live in my parents' basement, and I've got lots and lots of friends that have families and do all kinds of normal stuff, but because it's one of those hobbies, it's one of those pastimes that has a lot of dirty laundry associated with it. There is a negative stereotype. There's a negative connotation when you pick it up. So if I want to show, hey, I'm into gaming, you want to sub over? It's going to be something like bowling, or something silly, non-threatening and very straightforward about it. Again, it's a video game. It's a tool. It's a hobby. It's something to enjoy. And yet, if there are enough negative stereotypes out there, enough stuff in the news that highlights all the negative aspects of it, so I try to be a positive aspect to it. Of course, that never gets the news, but oh well. Then on to the last part of the conversation I had with the guy, Itabot or whatever, sorry. He was saying, well, so what do? You just lie to them and you get them indoctrinated, and then you kill the ones that you don't? Now, whether the guy's a troll, whether the guy's just trying to get a rise out of me, or I guess it's even remotely possible he thinks something like that. I'm sure there's enough nut job, anti-gun folks out there that believe something like that's going on. First off, as Lambdog pointed out in a comment, the gun community is a fragmented bunch of individualists that all think alike, or that think their own way. Lambdog, Mike, shall not be infringed, Hibernia's son, Haas UMC, Captain Burrs, myself. We all are gun owners. We all seem to be, in some respects, very much in line, but we all have very different points of view on things. Another one thrown into the mix would be Digital or Daddy Yoka 69. I mean, lots of people that have a lot of commonality in what we believe in, but we are all very, very different in the way we approach things in some respects. And as such, it's herding cats, or worse. I mean, trying to get a unified point of view, not going to happen, so that people seem to think that, there's this cult, there's this club, you got to do the double-fisted underhand, super, nanu kind of bullshit to join the fraternity. No. And we sure as shit aren't going to kill anybody or ostracize them. Well, the vast majority won't. I'm sure there's some of the folks here on YouTube that would love to ostracize other folks that are into guns or don't believe the way they do. But, the last thing this gun community wants to do is put a bad face on things. I mean, after all, unfortunately, it is a it is a fundamental right. It is a constitutional right that has become politicized, and it behooves all of us to put as good a face on it as we can. And we're sure as shit not going to go around shooting people. Kind of talk about the wrong way. So, we put a positive face on it because, quite frankly, the people, it's to quote Nixon, the silent majority. The vast majority of gun owners you don't know are gun owners, and they don't say anything about it. Those of us that are a little more active in the gun community politically and have an interest in trying to protect our constitutional right, we might be a little more emotional about it. We might be a little more personally invested in it. But we sure as hell don't want to come off as guns, you got to save the, the whole Gadsden flag, don't tread on me, that whole thing. We might think that way. We might personally feel that way, but no, we might put a little bit prettier face on it than we believe. One, because we don't want to scare you off until you can at least, there's a maturity level or an exposure level. If you're watching this video, chances are you're part of the whole thing, so you get it. And I'm not, I can talk about whatever I want to. You might not agree with what I say, but it's not going to shock you. But somebody that's never been involved in the gun ownership is not going to get the understanding of why they would fear Obama or fear Romney just as much, and why getting guns now is a good idea, and why there's a run on ammunition now. They're not going to get that. You start talking stockpiling ammo, they're going to think you're a nut job. Whether the fact is the matter is, well, it's on sale now, and even though it might seem like 3,000 rounds of ammunition is kind of crazy, I can go out and, I don't know about you guys, but I can shoot a couple hundred rounds of ammunition in an afternoon or even in the morning. And if you're practicing, which I think is good practice, if I'm getting experience and maintaining skill level, which is a good practice, it takes a lot of ammunition to maintain that. I mean, it just, but 3,000 rounds, it's a lot. No, that's not an unreasonable amount of ammunition to keep on hand, let alone if you start getting into the fact of the politics that you're afraid it might be banned. The price is going to go up, all of that stuff. So, at any rate, to make a short story longer, here you go. Later, guys.